What's going on, everybody? What's going on to the outliers, the apes, the ape outliers? I hope you enjoyed checking out a little bit of Iceland before we kick off. We have a interesting agenda today. We're still going through breaking down Roaring Kitty's old trades, and then we'll see how far we get with that before I get a little too exuberant. But one of the other things I would love to be able to take a look at today is start piecing together some of the different theories that people have on specifically what he did during the time frame that he disappeared and came back. That's kind of the next big bucket that I'm curious about from here. Is we disappeared in this time frame. It was 1100 days, and we came back and the account moved 511%. Massive move. So we have to get to the bottom of that, hopefully. Now, one of the other things that we did is spend a little bit of time piecing together when he got into these other positions, which I actually think is a really important process that we went through, because it highlights a few things to me. But one of them primarily being he had like this really heavy scale day on the 22nd that then tailored off. And this almost seems like happenstance that ends up going on here. This is what, 35,000 contracts? Like, I don't know. It's just, these seem weird to me. I haven't really been able to get to the bottom of that from at least a perspective standpoint. So I am very curious here. Now, where we left off, we had gone through, we understood his stock position when he added, what the residual basis was, that he needed to add. All that stuff was in here. I also went through and I took a look at the time distribution of entries, which I do think this is kind of interesting. If, oh no, I don't want that. I want to insert a chart. So what I did is, I don't want a line chart. I want like a frequency. No, that's not it either. These aren't what I want. Yeah, I'll deal with this later. What I noticed when I was looking at his entries is that there was a lot of frequent entries at the same time frames, right? So you can see this 12 handle, which is right before the market closed, is really dominant in his entries. And we can see a couple stuff near the morning, but not many. So if we were to eyeball this, get rid of this stupid chart. So let's do like 11 o'clock and past. This is a count of 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 out of 24. So the majority of his entries occurred in that 11 and past handle, which is really interesting. Nick says, thanks again for doing this, Eric. This is actually an awesome series. How you were statistically analyzing the trades. It's amazing. Yeah, for sure. Happy to do it. Part of this is I am genuinely, I'm just super fucking curious. This is the kind of thing that I actually really enjoy spending the time looking at this with you guys, because it's there's so many elements of it that are so fascinating. I was texting with Newton. He and I were talking earlier today. He was telling me about the PSA grading thing, which is really interesting. Oh, he just texted me again. Hold on. He's telling me about his next hype date. And I'm asking him if we started a tracker. I really want to see how these different hype dates work out. Specifically from Newton. Because I know like on Reddit and stuff, I see like a lot of people just kind of take pot shots at stuff. Cedric says 7th Nove Yeah, so I see he told me it's 7 Nov, and he says I'm asking him for some details around it, like what's the general thesis behind it. And then I also am asking if we have a like a tracker, because that would be really cool to keep an eyeball on. Off Putin says, I love the clip he posted. You know what you're going to do. I don't know what that's in reference to. Misty groin. Isn't that a real name? That's almost like Diaper King. Oh my God. What is with the fucking handles in here today? So we got Misty Groin. Would you and Newton consider opening an escape room franchise together? I don't think so. I've never really been in the escape room. I've done like 2 of them in my life. So I'm not so sure that I would go into the escape room franchise business, but Vampirtus says, have him join the stream. He's always welcome. Yeah, it's an open door. I asked him a couple times and he said that he was busy. So I haven't been asking him, just because you know what that's like. You don't want to make somebody feel like you're pestering them. But the last time I invited him on, I told him it literally, I do these every single Saturday, and he's welcome to join me quite literally whenever he feels like it. And then I told him as well, if he ever wants to try to set up another period in time that works better for his schedule, like if it's something earlier in the morning or whatever, like I'm cool with that. But right now I think he's kind of happy with his production schedule. And I remember when he and I first started speaking, one of the first things he told me is that he actually doesn't really do like collaborations, quote unquote, that he kind of does his own thing typically. So yeah, that's my guess, is that he's just kind of like enjoying doing his thing. I think the live streams he enjoyed, when we spoke about it, but I didn't get the sense with the competing interests that he has now, that it fits in well. But yeah, like I said, he and I, we literally text almost every day. So we'll find something at some point, but I know what it's like to be super busy, and I wouldn't want him to feel any pressure whatsoever, because that just kind of sucks. Because one of the worst things is, like, sometimes I'll have friends that invite me to do something, and if it's like 2 or 3 times in a row that I can't do it, it starts to make me feel like shit to say no. It feels like I'm letting them down. So I don't like putting other people in that circumstance. But yeah, definitely always down to chat with the dude. And same thing with Peruvian Bull. He and I have kept in touch via text, and I'm working. Well, we don't really have anything lined up, but we're working on a couple other things for now, but we'll do something else again in the future, because he and I both get along really well on top of that. That's another thing that I've noticed so far, is like most of the people, and it's people that you've all put me in touch with, by the way. It's not people that like I've found, because I don't know the folks in this space as well as a lot of you do. But when I first started doing the GME videos, I've had a handful of people reach out to me, be like, oh, you should talk to Richard Newton. I had no idea who he was. And then I connected with him and enjoyed like all of our conversations. He and I have even gotten into some like philosophical stuff, which has been cool. And then even with Peruvian Bull, you guys put me in touch with Peruvian Bull. Like a lot of you said, like, hey, reach out to him. He would be another cool guy to talk to. And he and I, we spoke very briefly before the live stream. Like the first time I actually like spoke with him was on that live stream. And then he and I had another phone call, I think like last weekend, where we spoke for a bit just about other stuff. And he's another just really solid dude. I like him a lot. So you guys have put me in touch with some like really, really cool people, which I'm thankful for. Peruvian Bull's fascinating because of his broader background. I don't know how much, I'm not familiar with his content, and that's not out of like any disrespect to him. I literally just do not watch like trading content typically, but so I'm not familiar with it. I don't know how much he talks about like his own trading and stuff like that. So I'm not gonna dox him. But that's one of the things that he and I spoke a little bit about that was really interesting to like understand the the background he has from like a studies perspective versus the practical perspective. So he has a lot of really interesting perspectives on things, which is fun to dive into. So yeah, you guys haven't missed yet with the recommendations. I'm super appreciative, because one of the things is I actually find I really like collaborating a lot with people, like a ton, because it's also like the same thing. This doing the live streams is way more fun for me than making videos, like hands down. It's, if there was like a better trading presence on like Twitch or something like that, I probably would just do that versus YouTube, because most of my stuff on YouTube, like I built a lot of the core content as it sits, but like the process of like making videos, I don't care about. I like sharing information. So the collaboration side of things have been super, super fun. Diaper King says the collabs bring different perspectives in a single convo, which makes them very fun and interesting. Yeah, definitely. And the other thing is, I think collaborations, well, like the first one we did was a lot of me understanding his perspective and kind of picking his brain on the broader context. So that's one of the things I wanted to do in the future, is have one where it's kind of more of an open dialogue about different ideas and stuff, just to kind of probe a little bit. I don't like, when I'm first getting to know somebody, I much prefer to like shut the fuck up and listen and understand them as much as I can. But I think he'll be another kind of person that will be fun to kind of go back and forth and explore ideas. I completely agree. Vampirta says you could do a react of Richard's new video, which goes over his 7 November theory. Oh yeah, maybe I could do that. I'll text him and see if he's cool with that. I don't really know how that works in terms of like YouTube, if it's going to turn us off. I'm texting him really quick. Pull up your video and watch it with the stream. IDK if YouTube has an issue with that, but want to check with you first if you're okay with that. I just texted him to see if he's cool with it. I wouldn't just watch somebody else's shit on mine without at least asking them first. Misty Groin, I can't get over that fucking name. Misty Groin is wild of a name. What if Trump and Harris reveal they have common interest of Scrabble and wine, and the nation heals bigly? That would be on fleek. Would love that. And it's not even like Donald Trump and Harris. I think it would be cool if like all of them, like just Democrats and Republicans, were just fucking chill with one another. That would be dope. Dr. Zay says it would be kind of interesting to see Eric on the PP show. They are true degens, though. Not sure if the vibe would be right. However, they do have extreme deep knowledge of the saga. I've heard you guys mention the PP show a couple times. I don't know. I literally don't know anything about them, though. So yeah, you guys would have a much better sense if it's like a good fit to connect with them. I think at one point somebody said that there was a stream going on, not recently, like a few weeks ago, and I popped on the stream and I reached out to them there, but I think the audience was not having that. I think the audience was, I think they went right down thinking that, well, just saying that I'm a shill, and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's not a good fit, but I did reach out to them on one of their live streams at one point, but I never heard anything from them. I told them, you know, I tried to do it, I didn't want to interrupt the stream, but I don't think they had like an email or something. I don't remember. That might be them or somebody else. I can't fucking remember. That was somebody I tried to reach out to. I reach out to a lot of people. I get rejected by the most of them. I mean, I say that partially in jest. People are just fucking busy, man. So I totally get it. I unfortunately am not as responsive as I would like to be. So I totally get it. Cedric says, Eric, don't go to PP. Why not? Vampirtus says they're shady. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is if it's something that wouldn't be good, I don't want to do it. But if it's something that you guys think would be fun, I'm always down. But yeah, like I don't like working with I don't like doing fanatical stuff, like people that are too into their own theories and stuff I don't do well with, and people that aren't willing to have like an open conversation about ideas. Like, I prefer to align and work with people that are pursuing like truth and actual information. That's what I care about. And there are some people that are good at doing that, and there's some people that are not doing good at that. So yeah, I don't really. Cedric says avoid PP like the plague. Diaper says wild tinfoil and speculation. I see. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, a little bit of tinfoil is cool, right? Like, I have my tinfoil hat. I actually really love exploring some of the crazy ideas, but at least from my perspective, I think it's just important to be able to acknowledge when we're going out on a fucking limb and just having a good time going out on a limb versus what our rational brain can, quantify, qualify, and prove. I keep those two deeply partitioned in my brain, and I weight what I can prove or disprove light years more heavily than what I think, feel, might think could be, those kinds of things. So yeah, I don't really go that route. All right. Oh, and it looks like Vampirtus gave out 5 Outlier Trading memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. Looks like Vampirtus hooked a few people up. Make sure that if he hooked you up, you say thank you. That's super nice of them. Thank you very much. So let's pick up somewhere where we left off here. We had just finished getting through these. We understand this trade. So now let's go back here. And then let's start working through these other updates, I say. And then, oh yeah, that's the other thing we were doing. That was kind of a bigger. We got all the way through here, didn't we? Yeah, so we got all the way caught up with the positions. So then on 2 June, this is where we start. And you guys didn't even fucking, how could you guys betray me like this? I rely on you all to keep me on task, on hand, doing the right things at the right time. And you guys didn't tell me to pull up our fucking ape map. Any new adds to this? So we still don't have anything from Papua New Guinea or Madagascar. We're missing those for sure. We're still missing Iceland, Greenland. What's this little place? The Falkland Islands? Oh, no, I mean this one. South Georgia and South Sandwich Islands. Did you guys even know that this was a place? Is this... What do you guys think? Magnum says you have to have thick skin for the pee-pee show. That's hilarious. That's good. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I spent most of my adult life in the Marine Corps, dog. So think thick skin is essentially all that I have. Why my skin is so fucking ugly. I need Google Maps though. Google Maps. And we need to go to this place, which is what? South Georgia and the Sandwich Islands. Is there anywhere that we can see from here? There is. Okay. Okay. So let's see. This looks like a little city. Let's see what they got going on here. Oh, god damn. Yo. This is like... Okay. This is next level nothing. This looks like nothing. Wow. Oh shit, we're inside. Dude, Google Maps is so fucking cool. The Larsden. Yo, this is so sick. I love these kinds of things, those kinds of places. All right, so they have a lot of rust. What are these people? Oh, this is like a tour. I'm not about to try to be like super racist or anything. I'm not a racist, but I'm guessing that these are Asian people. Where'd they all go? The reason why I say that is more often than not, whenever I travel and I see people in like the same kind of raincoats like this, it super frequently is Asian people. I'm guessing that they came in off this cruise ship and like a boat dropped them off. Whoever it is. But yeah, when we were in Iceland, we came across this massive tour group of Asian folks that were, let's see, hard to tell. Same people there. This is crazy. Okay. I mean, that looks Asian to me. I think I'm on point. Yeah, when I went to Iceland and when I went to Norway, we came across two really big groups of like tour groups, and they were Asian people, and they all had like really nice kit, and it was all the same color. Not red though, they were yellow. And the other one, they don't look Asian. That's definitely not Asian. I love it how this dude has his face blurred out, and then they're just like, fuck both of you. That's hilarious. Yeah, definitely not Asian. See, this is why I like validating hypothesis, is you can, yeah, definitely not Asian. That's a old white dude. See, perfect. Had a hypothesis, clearly disproven. She's thrown up gang signs. Who knows where she's from? I don't. EOS 70D or 60D. I have one of those. Where are y'all from? Can't see. Want to know where you people are from. We're going on a tour with them, though. This is kind of nice. What's that symbol? I don't know that symbol. Damn. Dude, this is crazy. This place is nuts. Very, very cool. So that's grit to whatever in. Oh, it's the red people again. These are different red people. Oh, I see what's going on here. They make them wear red so they don't fucking lose them. That's exactly what this is. This is so that they can keep eyeballs on them. That's hilarious. Wow. So they literally, they put them in red so that you can fucking see them. Where's this? This is like a little loop trail. Now these people are in blue. Uh-huh. Fascinating. Very, very cool. All right, so what we need is to find somebody from here, though, is what that looks like to me. We need somebody from South Georgia. It looks like somebody said they had England here. I'm in Nook, Greenland. Misty Groin, is that true? Misty Groin, are you being honest or are you trying to get my hopes up? Don't play with my heart, Misty Island. Misty Groin. Nuke. Don't play with my heart. Hey, it's Roaring Titty. What up, Roaring Titty? I need to know if Misty Groin is fucking with me or not. Because if we have somebody from Greenland, that's like a massive win in my world. But I'm scared to get my hopes up. Let's see what it looks like around Nuke's crib. Yo, look at everybody. Wave. Make sure you take the time to wave to Misty Groin. Misty Groin says, do I sound like a jokester to you? No, I don't think so. Hey, yo, somebody hooked us up. Somebody said this on the last stream. That homie from... I forgot fucking homie's name, but they said that they were going to hook us up with somebody from the Middle East. So we got Ali from Iraq. Fuck yes. Ali, where in Iraq are you from? Don't say Baghdad, because we're going to start having fucking flashbacks and shit, but hopefully another town in Iraq. We're in Iraq. Roaring Clitty says Misty Groin. Yo, I can't even say these fucking names anymore. Some people, they don't really like sometimes when I curse, but as I'm sitting here saying these names, I'm realizing that it's just out of control. Like I'm talking about Roaring Titty, Roaring Clitty, Misty Groin. Like we're all over the map here. Babylon? Got it. Cameron, thank you so much for the $5 Canadian. That will go to the DoorDash tonight. And we got Winnipeg. Winnipeg repping the set. All right. Do a quick see what the deal is in Winnipeg. All right, let's pick somewhere that looks cool. This looks like it would be rich people. Where are the homeless people? Here. This is where the homeless people are. Let's see if we can spot some homeless people. Okay. This looks like just a nice little park. Looks super gray. Don't love that for you. Super gray. Looking for the homeless people. Bet you there's one in there. Aha! I fucking told you. Knew it. Listen, I grew up spending a lot of time in the Bronx, New York. I know exactly where the fucking homeless people are. Can always tell exactly where they would want to. Oh, now it's sunny. Here we go. Oh, now it's gray. Damn. Those are just people living their best lives. All right. So now we know what it's like around Cameron's crib. We visited Cameron. Got a tour right through here. Sweet. All right. We can shut this down. I think we can shut this map down because I didn't see Leicester, England. I think we have somebody from England, but I don't know where. Leicester. I don't know how you fucking say it. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Maybe Leicester. Thanks, Nick. Nick, who is this? Who the fuck is it? Sneehill from Leicester. I mean, it's not fucking Leicester. Let's Leicester. There's fucking extra E's and shit. There's no, it's not Leicester. I mean, I'm sure it's Leicester. I'm sure you're correct. But I fucking absolutely hate when we disrespect letters like that. And the English language is terrible that way. I'm not saying English is good, because English is not. But we're just disrespecting, we're literally disrespecting letters, right? Because Leicester, there's what about this E? Even if we're going to pretend that this C is an S sound, fine, okay. Esther. There's a fucking E. I would be down if we said Leicester. That's okay. But Leicester is just straight bullshit. It would be Leicester. So I'm petitioning to call it Leicester. But speaking of England, what's the beef between England and like the UK? Why is it like such a big breakdown when we look at South and North here? Like, what's the problem? I think y'all should just get along. Hey, Isle of Man is cool because there's a big motorcycle race that goes on there that's fucking crazy. Those dudes whip around these on 600cc bikes. I don't know if it's actually on this island, but it's called the Isle of Man, which is nuts. Okay. So we have a good covering of this map. We have Greenland added. We still need Madagascar, Papua New Guinea, something like this would be good. But we're filling in here. This is good. All right. Then let's close our map down and let's get to work. I feel like it's time to start getting to work here. Okay. Let's see what we have on the agenda. This, we need to zoom out super far. And we have our workbook. Okay. So this will go here. This will go here. And what I'm going to do now is pick up from here and pick up with what traits he has. So at this point, I'm just going to put hold because I don't know when he bought to open. Right now he holds 120K of the 21 June 24 20 calls. And when does he post this? Well, we know he started getting into these in the 20th of May. So 20 May to, what is that? 21 June, 32 DTE. These are shorter term. These are much shorter term when he started getting into these. This is very, very different than most of his other entries from the time that he posted this. So he holds 120K of the 21 June 20 calls. He did that for $5.6754. And this is when he started entering 31, 32 DT. I already forgot because I'm an idiot. What was it? 32. Damn it. I knew it was a 50-50 chance. It's the good old 50-50-90. 50-50 chance, 90% chance I'm going to pick the wrong one. So, I consider this to be actually quite noteworthy. So, if we plot out of curiosity, how can I do this simply? I could do it like this. So this is 495. $52, 107. Make this easier. 198, 458, 3. Got to carry my list with me. 94, 168, 229, 229, 138, 137, already got that one. Already got that one. $32. Fascinating. What do you guys think of this? This to me looks like he fucking knows something. I have to be completely honest. That's what that looks like to me. That looks like he fucking knows something. Average is 180 DTE. There's literally two. There's two entries here that are sub 50 DTE. If this was 50 DTE, I would have bought it. Like that would be okay. Meaning it would fall more in line with this. This we know we can see back. This was clearly an earnings play. That's what this one was. So that's fucking something, man. I believe it's something. This I don't know though. Roaring Titty says yes, but what did he know? We'll take a look. I think we'll be able to have some ideas. But the reason so let me be clear. I look at this and it's an orange in my mind. This is it seems more likely than not that something is known. It seems like it. And I'm emphasizing the fact that it seems like it versus saying something like it is, because it's still 32 DTE from when he started scaling in. So I do believe that that's topical. So let's go into on demand. Let's go to this year. Let's go to 20 May. Pause it. You know what this looks like to me? This is... May. You know what this looks like to me? This... Man, I wonder... I'm gonna have to grab the tinfoil hat though, because I don't know. I can't prove this. I wish that I could fucking filter it by what I want. 17052024. Doesn't let me do that. It's so annoying. Damn it. The tens. Let's do tens on the strike. 10. 10. 426. Four 425, 424, 1. Yo. Yo. 24. This is interesting. This is really, really interesting. 100. 24. 25. 26. Dude. This looks like he tested a position. This looks like he tested a position and then replicated it once it worked. So if we go to 24 April, 1,000 of the tens. We go 25 April. Then there's 1, 2, 3, 4,000 more. We go to 26 April. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,000 on top of that. This looks like he was testing an idea. And this looks like he started testing the idea on the 24th of April. And then it looks like his idea worked. So if we go to April 24th, this is where... Now, I can't... I'm not sure if he started testing it before this, and this is when he started scaling. But the fact that this started on 24 April... Let me take a look at another reference period super fast. Let me go to the 20th or the 20 March. March. Goes somewhere in here. Small trades. Small trades. This is fascinating. So my best assumption right now of what the cat is doing is this looks like he had an idea. I don't know why the idea started with an entry here, but it started with a light entry on the 24th. So let's see what happens as we move from the 24th to the 25th. Stock goes up. 25th, he, I want to be super clear. He is in big air quotes. This person seems to then add. And it looks like they add up to 1, 2, 3, 4,000 more contracts. That's the 25th. Let's go to the 26th. Up again. 26th, we scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are in the money at the time now. Dude. Exactly what I think happened here. I can't prove it. Oh man, my head is spinning right now. There's like a million things going through my mind. This looks like this exit here looks like a test. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Comes down. This could be a fucking mistake too. Because then we buy right back in 30 minutes later. Huh. So, this is so interesting to me for a lot of reasons. The first one is there's obviously something around this time frame that led to interest. So I have to understand more around this time frame, what was going on. But I think that this was testing an entry, meaning starting with a much smaller position and seeing how the market would react to the size and to the liquidity, and most importantly, seeing how the stock would react. My hypothesis here is starting to believe more and more that in this time frame, he didn't think or didn't know or it wasn't at a larger scale of how much he was influencing the price of GameStop. I think here he comes in fully knowing how much he can influence the price of GameStop. I think he knows that here. And I think what he's doing in this instance is testing the market response to this specific trade. Then I think he's testing the market response to scaling in at a much smaller size. And then I think he's testing the perceived movement of it from that point forward. So Dr. Zayas says, how can a single trade influence the entire stock? It's a great question. So the way that this can influence the stock is on the 24th, when he entered, those were at the money. These 10s were at the money. And if we look at the volume, let's take a look at a curiosity. The volume here was 4.8 million. The volume the day before was 2.5. My guess is when this 1,000 lot came through, that triggered a few things to happen. The first is they likely were starting to hedge some of the calls. The second thing is I think that between the buying activity and then the hedging of the calls, that probably led to other market participants starting to think, oh, there's something going on here. Again, this is how I personally find trades as well. That's why I think this. So it's not that I know what's going on, why it's going on. I have no idea. But this looks like testing an exit on this and then buying in more, because these were bought when they were in the money, it looks like. So the really interesting part about all this is that my big assumption as it sits now, before we go further into the rest of this, which will be informative for me, but my current hypothesis is at this point, he knows how impactful his trades can be. And I think he knows that his movements can move the stock. That's what I think. And it looks like there's a lot of little testing going on here. If this is him, I cannot confirm that this is him, but I find a couple really interesting components to this, where we start on the 24th of April and we're getting into 17 May expirations. And then if we take a look at the follow-on trades, when he did come back and post a YOLO update, it's a very similar DTE on the original entry. So very interesting to me. Very interesting to me, because there was none of this activity prior to this point in time. And then the activity started at this point in time. So that's why I believe they're linked. Again, can't confirm it, but that's what I believe. So now let's see what happens to these. Let's go into May. And they get unwound. 15th, 16th. Let's actually track these now out of curiosity. So I'm going to move these down here. And I'm going to do some scratch math. We'll put this over here. So then we have 24 April. This was at 12/14/29. We don't have to worry about GME yet. Size was 1,000. Premium is 114. This will be in thousands. Then we have 25 April. I see 0819. I see 1,000. And then this looks like he offloaded 145K worth. Then that happened at, interesting. I gotta let that pop out real. So 25 April, a sale order comes in here. And then 25 April again, we buy back 0, 8, 20, 30. That movement's interesting because it looks like, oh, this should be 19. This looks like he tested like a day, an entrance before, exit the next day in the beginning, and then entered right back in after it. So this looks like he's testing how the market's responding to these transactions. 25 April. Then 09, 48, 33. Size here, 1,000 again. This is 140K. Then there's 25 April, 12, 32, 46, 1,000, 181. 25 April, 12, 46, 43, 1,000, 146. This is scaling here. 25 April, for whoever this is. I think it's him. But 12, 49, 17, 1,165. Then we have 26. It's so 26 May, 07, 16, 16,000, 200K. 0800, 25,000, 205. 0839, 56,000, 205, 220. 0857, 32,000, 225. 0900, 24,000, 227. 0908, 06,000, minus 235. 09, 33, 31, 1,000, 260. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. And then let's take a look at here. Let's take a look at these unwinds. 5 May or 6. Wait, I'm an idiot. This is April. Then here we have 6 May. 0, 7, 11, 10. We took down 5,000. And we took in 3 mil. So this is a sale. '15 May. There's 4 trades. So let's do this. And this is 0824 or 01. This is 1,000. This is 2.38. I'm just going to do minus 3.0. Zero 0827 52 1,000 2.3 08 30 20 1,000 2.35 8 32 01 1,000 2.3. So this looks really, really interesting because what I'm seeing here is he tested selling a 1,000 lot here. Then on the 6th, he opened with trying to sell 5,000. And my guess is he didn't get a price that he wanted. So because he didn't get a price that he wanted, he then scaled down into 1,000 lots and tried to exit on these smaller sizes. That's my guess here so far. That's all 15 May, and then we have 16 May. The thing I'm going to do after this is take a look at all of the actual numbers and see how they line up. So this is 16 May. So this is 12, 16, 49, 1,000, 1.9. This is the same. 12, 31, 28, 1,000, minus 1.91. No, I don't know what to make of these last two. These last two are a little weird. Let's do size at least 50 or something like that. I'm gonna make the assumption. I don't know how true it is. I'm gonna make the assumption that each of these is actually tied to essentially 1,000. I can't. Oh, let's just do the math really quick. Let's see. So, here there's 6,000 at the end of this. Here there's 6,000 again. So this is a total of 12,000. And then this is less 7. No, it's more than that. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was doing count. I'm so stupid. This is 11,000. We have to count this again really quick. Oh, fortunately it worked out because these are all 1,000. So this is 11,000 so far. My guess is just one of these is him somehow. I don't know which one. We could just make the assumption that there was another 1,000 somewhere that we didn't track, and there was 13, and both of these represent the remainder of that. Doesn't really matter that much. Man. This is fucking interesting. Yeah, okay. So Dr. Zayas says that there's a meme spree. So we have to pull up those memes now. I definitely think we need to take a look at that. I'm going to grab another seltzer water really quick because this is about to get busy. All right. We are back up. Vladimir says those are 17 million 24. Why would you total them together? Yeah, so I'm eyeballing numbers. I'm not, because I can't tell what's discreetly him, what's not him. This to me, like moving in these 1,000 lots, this all looks like more likely than not him. I just can't tell what's what. So I was trying to see if they work out in the aggregate, and realistically, they actually kind of do, right? So if we looked at the total size for all of these, using all of them combined from the jump, and we look at the exits in May, we can see that essentially what adds up here is what's here. So this to me looks like using two different expirations. That's my current guess here. Now, again, it's all of this stuff is always open to interpretation and what we have to break through. Because I think the next big step here is for us to actually go through his posting. I want to see if we can glean anything from there, because my guess is there will actually be some messages in there. That's the current guess. So Vladimir says Gil was never on record buying anything other than monthly OPEX contracts. Yeah, I don't think that matters, right? Like him being on record for, dude, like I guarantee you Gil has done a lot of things that you haven't seen, right? I understand using it as a reference, and I think it's a smart way to think about references, because I agree with you in general. That's the same way that I personally would look at it as well. The part that I'm departing is because it looks like to me that even with this other trade here, when he scooped some 3 DTE options, like this is a pretty stark departure as well. So just as this 3 DTE and this 30 DTE is a departure, I don't see why there couldn't have been a departure in expiration cycle. So, but I agree with you. Again, all of this is a guess. We don't even know if this is him. Blonde Swayze says maybe because weeklies are more likely unhedged. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. He's disincentivized from going into the weeklies. In general, it looks like the weeklies themselves, they're less liquid. So he would prefer those other contracts because he was building into bigger sizes, longer ideas. So I generally agree with Off Putin that he hasn't done non-monthlies before. I just don't think that necessarily he is relegated to them. So Off Putin says, look at 12, 15, and 20 strike. He typically buys out of the money, not in the money. I think the problem there is you're getting too locked into a reference. And I think that you're not adapting to the data as it fits. Because, for example, he, going off of like what he did before, he also never bought anything other than one isolated occasion options that were less than 50 DTE. This in here looks like and this is genuinely part of what I was expecting to see. This looks like a different overall approach. That's what I see here. This looks like somebody that's playing the overall value change in something. This looks like testing an idea. That's what I think this is. Don't know what, but I think him typically buying stuff that's out of the money is completely fair. But I think the way that he traded in this period is different than what I see so far from this period. It literally looks like a general change in approach. So at least that's, again, just loosely part of what I'm seeing so far is a general change in approach. I have to grab some drugs real quick. I forgot I skipped my dosing. Give me 1 sec. All right, we're back. Getting hot in here. I'm going to take top off soon. So, yeah, this looks like that. Now, let's take a look at the breakdown now between these. Look at April. I'm just going to color code them. So this is one. Well, here's a 500 in here and a 798. So there's definitely some other positions that were built out that got split up. So there's definitely more in here. But I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these there. And then this is probably another one. 10 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 15. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a clean number as well. So it looks like 15. Fascinating. Damn, that's fascinating. So oh, the old so I know that amount of money he doesn't care about. Like this would be inconsequential. Which is why I think this is him testing something. And then he unwinds 1,000 here. It's hard to tell which 1,000 might have been unwound. It's essentially impossible. But let's make the assumption that he had FIFO accounting, because most people do. So that would be this minus, well, I guess plus, because it's a negative. This plus this. What is it if I do negative out of curiosity? 385. Yeah, okay. Absolute value of that minus that. Times 1,000. Let's just get. I just want this to be scalable for whatever this ends up turning into. I don't know what yet. That's almost 200 grand there. And then these are all exits. So 2.38, 2.35, 2. Wait, did I fuck that up? No, I didn't. 2.35, 2.35. Two dot 3.5, 1.9, 1. And then these are all negative. Oops. So I'm just gonna kind of loosely eyeball what the rest of this looks like. This is 5 of them. So this would be not this one, but 1, 2, 3, 5. All these. 832. Damn, he would have made a lot of money here. He would have made a whole lot of money here. That's not so bad. I'm just turning all these into the same format so I can. Newton's cool with us watching his video, so I'll pull that up in a little bit. Damn. I'm so curious now. So these I can get rid of. Then we start exiting here. So this equals this minus, not this one, but this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 1,000. I'm just gonna fill these in super fast so it's easier for me to track. 1, 2. This equals this minus this. Same here. For all of 1, 2. Yeah, that's right. So this one I don't know. So this, it looks like almost $11 million. And I think it's a little bit more than that, to be honest. So this looks like a test run to me. That's what this looks like. It looks like he went for a. Let me take a look. I want to take a look now at his Twitter. I want to see if there's anything that sticks out there. I forgot how to like quickly get to the bottom of this thing. Oh, the other thing. This one. So can you guys take me to where 24 April is, please? On 16 April 21, his DME shares cost basis was 55.18. His Twitter post suggests a big move on that B day that would put, yeah, maybe, I don't know. It could be. So this we're looking for 24 April 24. They removed a couple for copyright. The last one with ET. Okay, where's ET at? It's always hard for me to tell like how much he tweets. ET. I'm in media. The guy in the seat is the start. Okay. Oh, that's right. Wait, this is when he came back? He didn't do anything before this. This was on 12 May. So this looks like, take a look. Started getting in here, 24 April. Had a couple test exits here and here. And then on 6 May, he made $2 million and realized that this thing works. 12 May made this post. When is 12 May? The Sunday. 6 May was the Monday before. I don't know what to make of any of that, if anything. So to me, this looks like he was testing an idea. Yeah. And it lines up very, very well with the timing of these trades. The thing that doesn't line up well are the entry times. He has a lot more morning stuff here, which I can't explain. That's a hole in the theory compared to these. But my guess is I don't think he's weighing the time that heavily. I think he's generally trading early morning towards the close. That definitely holds true. And then I think the rest of it is probably just when he happens to be logging on. Like, I don't think he's purposely trying to get on at like a specific time. I don't see why he would. I don't think he'd care. Wow. I mean, that looks pretty fucking clear to me, to be honest. That is some shit. Now, what the fuck? 24 April. Why 24 April? What happened on 24 April? I'm going to ask Perplexity. Let me go into a new thing. Summarize all key news and events around GameStop and its stock on 24 April. Royington says, why are you so surprised? I don't understand. I'm surprised for a couple primary reasons. The biggest reason why I'm so interested now by this is I see a massive shift in approach. Massive shift in approach. This entire time frame is somebody that's trading this thing on a value perspective, thinking that something is going to grow in value, get bigger, just overall up kind of idea. That's what these trades all mean to me. The way that we're entering longer term positions, the way that we're scaling in and out, we're holding them for typically long duration of the trade. All of those things really lead me to believe a very specific approach, which is based on expected value in the future. This is a quite literal, complete departure from that. complete departure. And it signifies between this time frame, a complete change in approach has occurred. Don't know what, but I can tell you that based on the trades I see coming back from 24, from his departure 2021 and 2024, assuming, and this is a big assumption, assuming that this is him, which it fucking looks like it is to me, all of those conditions being the case indicate a significant change in overall approach. That's why I'm really, really surprised / interested in this change. Growing Titty says it's kind of deep value, just short-term swing trading. Not at all. I mean, I get your point, but it's not. And the thing is that we know he changes from being a value investor. He talks about it. So value doesn't materialize in a month. Value is the kind of thing that takes years. And again, signified by his first options trade that we can trace back to being 495 days, right? So like this is absolutely a value play. But then you can see as we start getting nearer in time, even to these trades in 2020, like as we look across this latest entry of trades, they come in massively in time. 168 DTE, 137 DTE. So the overall trend actually starts to contract in overall time here as we get nearer and nearer in his overall time frame doing this. Right up here, he did a stupid small little play with his, this was an earnings play. We already know that. But when he bought in here on 14 Jan 2020, 458 DTE, 198 DTE. Then as we get into July, these start coming down, 137 DTE. So the time frame started contracting a little bit. I think part of that just has to do with what options were open as time was passing, right? Where the next primary expiration was, that's far out in time. But this is a complete departure from that. This is literally a different approach. So that part is real interesting, because then for me, it begs the entire question of what is the approach? And I'm hopeful that as we go through a couple more of these, we'll be able to see a little bit more detail of like what the approach is, because there's something going on here. Ricky says, I mean, are we surprised his most recent trades are a lot more pump and dumpy? I mean, to be completely honest, they are. I don't think it's with the idea of, like trying to dump on retail. I don't think he'd do that, but I do think it's him understanding he can move the market and playing the movements that he can do in the market. That's what I think. Because this is out here. Yeah, it's like 32 DTE. And then when these are what? 20 May to 21 June. These other ones came in 24 April. Yeah, so those were also about a month. So I cannot help but find that also completely different. Because if you look at all of his trades here, he had one that was 52 DTE. And he had one that was 3. And I actually think that the one that was a 52 DTE, where is that one? This one. That looks like playing something. I don't know what. But he had one there. And then again, there's 3. We know exactly what that is. So all of this, they're typically trades that are greater than 100 DTE. Then we get 2 back-to-back series of 30-day trades. That's real interesting. That's completely different than the rest of the modus operandi that we see here. Completely different. which again, it harkens back to the idea that we have a change of approach. And this looks like measuring the impact. What happened on 6 May? Let's do this. Let's go to May 10th. Ricky says, like, to everyone that isn't a blind diamond hands holder, I thought it was obvious he was profiting off manipulating GME in his most recent trades. It's hard to say with respect to like the manipulation. That starts to get into like that terminology has specific meanings and stuff. And that part I'm not personally positive of, but I do see your point and I do broadly agree. Yeah. Cedric says, is it manipulation if there are a lot of unhedged calls and he is using that? The thing, there's not going to be a lot of unhedged calls. So another thing to keep in mind is I actually, and I think I talked to you guys in the Discord. This isn't loading for some reason. I'm going to put you guys over on the second screen so I can close out and log back in. Sometimes that helps. So I'll put you guys over on this screen. But I was speaking with one of my buddies. He is one of my friends, but he's much older. He's been in the market making business and options trading business for a really, really long time. And we spoke briefly a couple times, and I spoke with him a couple weeks ago about a couple things that I was finding as I was doing different research on the cat. And I asked him about meme stocks in general and how meme stocks have changed the market making space and how they react to stuff like that and whatnot. And essentially that boiled down to him saying that like in a broad perspective, market makers have gotten a lot more calculated with the risk that they'll take. Yeah, it looks like Thinkorswim is being updated because it's trying to log in right now and it can't. So that's that. Oh, there it goes. So yeah, that goes back to Cedric. I don't think that there is a lot of unhedged calls in something like GameStop. I think that they would have been hedged if they thought that there was some sort of risk there. Blonde Swayze says he is not manipulating on low volume under the right conditions. A reasonable size bull's position has some decent impact. Yeah, but again, Blonde Swayze, this goes back to like, what are we defining as manipulation? Because that is like, if that's the thesis for the trade, that's not trading something under the guise of like a change in fundamental value, right? That's obviously trading the expected movement of something based on a broad market effect and impact. So yeah, I don't know what people call or define manipulation as personally, but I think that that's part of the effect here. So it looks like this is down. So what I'm going to do is grab good old, I'll actually use TradeView because I'm trying to get a little bit better with using TradeView. I don't really, or TradingView. Maybe I should call it the right name first. That could be a good start. I definitely need to change this settings though. How do I change the settings so that it's dark? There we go. That's better. And then let me go to GameStop. How do I change the settings on this so that this is dark in the background, like burning my retinas? This? No. You guys know I don't know how to use this thing. Right click. Got it. Thank you. All right, template. Click the settings top right. Settings. Canvas. Black. Ah, much better. Thank you. Grid lines. Where are the grid lines? There we go. That's cool. That's great. Fantastic. Thank you guys. That's super helpful. All right. So now let's go back. Does it not display? Oh, damn. You have to change all those things, don't you? Text needs to be white. Line should be like that. Okay. So now I can see. There we go. All right. Oh, I got to get caught up. Ricky says, I'm not using manipulation in a negative context. He knows the post make an impact on the stock, so he loads up. Yeah, I don't think that that's a poor thesis, to be honest. Roy Clitty says, if you buy a shit ton of in-the-money calls, the market maker, whoever sold them, is probably going to hedge. That's correct. That's definitely correct. It's also, if you buy stuff that's like at the money, they typically will start hedging a little bit. Yeah. Blonde Swayze says, if he was testing if they are hedged, I don't think he's testing if they're hedged. I think it's really important to like decouple the different participants here. I don't think the market makers are the main people that he's trying to test here, whether or not they're hedged or not. I think that he's probably seeing what broader positioning looks like. That's my guess. I don't think that he's playing a bunch of games with market makers. Market makers have a pretty defined purpose and it's not that expansive. But other institutions that might be systemically short something like GameStop, that's a completely different story, I think, at least. I need to add, how do I add some shit? I just need to add moving averages at least. Do they have, no, I don't want that. Ribbon might be fine. Normally they'll have like an envelope, which is a way for me to do two. Because I think I only get like a certain number of indicators or whatever on this. I think they're calling it a ribbon. Yeah, okay. This will work. And then I need to change. So we want a 10, 20, 50, probably 150 or 180. 150 is fine. And the colors are inverted, which is the worst. So now I have to flip these. 10, 20, 50, 150. Perfect. Francis says, I do think that those are tests for his algo, maybe cooking his own algo to beat the hedge. I don't think he's running an algo. That's not what that looks like to me. Algos would be so fast. And he's also not going to be able to essentially create an algo that would outpace the, like what a purpose of an algo is, at least in that context. So I think, the movement that we saw in April, that looks like him expecting something to happen here, or expecting the impact of his trades to be something. So I don't know what the thought was around this 13 May, 14, this time frame. Because that part's interesting. Because if we look at the unwind for the positions is actually like not good with respect to that. It's quite mistimed. So the unwind started 6 May, which would have been here. And then we see the next unwind was on 15 May. So he would have done the same of most true apes, which is hold through the peak, start unwinding on the 15th and then the 16th. Take the rest down on the decline. That's it. That's what that is. So from that perspective, it's really interesting because it's clear. Again, this is not a perfect time thing. Like, that's what I see here. This is not a perfectly timed system. I don't think that this is some sort of, understand the tea leaves and projecting some sort of hyper specific date. Like, that's not what this is. Because if that's the case, even with him building the position on 24 to 26, he wouldn't have sold anything on the 6th. And he sold a good bit of it on the 6th. The other thing is he wouldn't have sold on the 15th and the 16th. If, again, that is the case where he knew something was going to happen on the 14th or whatever it is. I don't think that at all. I think that he thought something could happen from his trades. I think something did start to happen from his trades. I don't know. Do we know when? I think we started looking. Do we know when he bought those shares? That would be highly informative here, actually. When the 5 million shares came online. I know that we have like windows and stuff, but do we know the specific dates? Let me look at the dark pool. And we're looking, let's look in April. Okay. Let's sort this by premium. So we had 5 million shares here on 2 June. Based on what I see here, 2 June. Let's go to March. Okay, so quiet in March. Generally quiet in April. Very busy in May. Very busy. So one of the things I was trying to test here, I was very curious if he bought shares before he bought those options. The reason why I wanted to test that is because one of the theories I've heard thrown around is that he kind of is using the share buying or the option buying to cause a wave that he's then using for the other side of the transaction. And I don't see that from April, at least before those April trades, because these are very small. So I don't think he did that here. Now, for his May trades that started on the 20th, there's an argument to be made that he could have been participating in this time frame when it got busy. Let's go to the beginning though. Well, that's kind of annoying. Does this let me go to the next page? Let me close this window down. What did I say? The 20th? So let's look at this before the 20th. Yeah, so this doesn't look like nothing on the 17th. Let's take a look at the 16th. Oh no, of May. Interesting. Super, super interesting. So this doesn't look like he bought shares, at least who knows, but it doesn't look like he was sizing into shares massively leading into this period. It looks like this was through options. I can, again, also see and confirm that this is not, if this is him, this is not perfectly timed. So I think the reason why I highlight the timing thing is because so many people, I think, really are of the opinion that like he has this crazy calendar that's like mapped out these dates. And I don't see evidence of that. What I see evidence of so far, at least in this comeback period, is I feel like he knows he has an impact on the market. And I think that he's assessing the impact and trading the perceived impact there. Because for a stock that's completely quiet, to start having the options chain built out like that is pretty detectable. I've already told you guys, this is where I first caught wind of GameStop from my scanners, was the beginning of May. I think it was the 3rd or the 4th, something like that. So this is when I started looking at playing GameStop myself, because I could just see that it was becoming activated, right? It was very busy. And that's different though than what it was doing for significant periods of time prior, like massive, massive periods of time prior. So I don't think that there's like specific dates though. I don't see that, because the exit here, again, from like a specific date perspective, is also mistimed. Now let's take a look. What time is it? Oh shit, I gotta get my dinner order off. Whenever I'm doing this, time is like a fucking vacuum, like a vortex vacuum. What it feels like to me. Vortex vacuum. I'm stoked for dinner tonight. I'm purposely getting shitty food. We're getting a place called Crispy Burger so that I can get some burgers and then some chicken fingers. There's a barbecue place in New York that we used to go to and love called Dinosaur Barbecue. And I just found that you can get the Dinosaur Barbecue sauce online. So I ordered them and they got in yesterday. So I needed to get a meal that I could do a shit ton of dipping in all these different sauces. So I'm very excited for that. Offpoon says, looks like he bought this 5 million shares on May 19 to 29 based on his cost basis. I think that's too hard to say, because like the probability of him moving in and out of things is so high that I think it's going to be difficult to peg that down. So could be, like, I think your thesis is completely viable. I think it very well could be that, but there's no way to confirm or deny it. So it's kind of one of those things that I would earmark as an idea, but it doesn't really impact a whole lot, I don't think. Roaring Clitty says, when you say mistimed, do you mean that perfect timing would be holding them right up to expiry? No. I mean, better timing would be essentially the exits with respect to the movement of the underlying, right? Like better timing would have been exiting on the 14th or even exiting on the 13th, 14th, 15th, right? Because when I look at this, the first exit that happened here is 6 May, and that was a 5,000 unwind. So if we take a look at 6 May, that's here. So this is a little bit of a pop for sure, right? Made a ton of money, no doubt, but not is anywhere near as much as what would have been made if we had a date, right? Like if we have some sort of date that we are super convicted in, then we would play that date. So yeah, that's why I don't think that there's like a specific date that he's playing here. There's no artifact of that. Even the fact that we have 2 exits on the 15th and 16th reiterates the fact that there is no date. Because if there were a date, let's say the date was supposed to be the 14th or the 15th, then that's fine. But then whenever the move happened around that date, then the exit would happen. But it didn't. The exit was spread over a couple days. My guess is he was waiting to see if it started to rebound back up. It might have. So that's my best guess as I look at this. Roaring Titty says, how would we know how to follow BlackRock? I don't think that's happening at all. Yeah, I don't think that's it. I don't think Roaring Kitty has like this crazy access to information that nobody else has, or has like a super secret decoder ring that he's using. Like, I really don't think that. I think based on what I'm seeing in his trades, and at this point, I am starting to feel more confident in speaking about what I can see from, again, not an opinion perspective, but like an evidence-based perspective based on we literally have looked at all of his old trades now. And it looks like he's playing movement. Now, this recent change is interesting because before he clearly was playing value. Now he's playing movement. So that's a little bit of a change. XRT FTD. I don't think he's using FTDs. I really don't. I think he knows about them. And I think that he probably integrates them. The problem with FTDs is that they don't work all the time. So I don't think he's basing it on FTDs for that reason. If he was using FTDs, there would have been a lot of other triggers that may or may not have worked. So yeah, I don't think the FTDs is the big thing here. Jimmy says they work all the time, half the time. Yeah. That's the again, and that's one of the things, like when Newton and I, when we discuss things back and forth, I think sometimes Newton is a little bit too much in terms of confirmation bias, in terms of trying to see what he wants to see. And even when we did a few live streams together, there were instances that I highlighted for the conversation of the live stream, because it's very easy historically to look back and say like, oh yeah, you know, big volume here, big jump here. And obviously there was a move. But what I encourage him and everybody to do is, when you're analyzing these things, is to analyze the signal by itself and to assess the efficaciousness of the signal, right? So we can look at either volume expansion, FTDs, and we can run a regression to see how effective they predict the movement. And I've done that. And there's definitely a correlation, to be clear, with the movement. A lot of times that there's movement, these other things do move. But I don't think it's a causal relationship. I don't think that the FTD movement is now forcing the movement in GameStop. I do think there's a relationship, and I think it can exacerbate it. I think it can start it. I think that there's a lot of relationship intertwined there. But I don't think when we've looked back at these other periods where either there was massive volume expansion or massive changes in FTDs, I didn't see a clear signal from those. So, yeah. Vladimir says this shouldn't be that difficult. His YOLO account was under 204 million to June. What are you talking about when you say this shouldn't be that difficult? What is this? Just out of curiosity. Vampirita says doesn't always work, but they're meaningful. Yes, I agree. They're very meaningful and they're important. I think they're very important. I think they're a part of this whole puzzle. The main thing I'm just highlighting is I don't think they're predictive. That's an important element. Now, again, are they related to movements sometimes when they happen? I absolutely think so, and we can see evidence of it. The problem is when I'm assigning something predictive capabilities, it needs to have some sort of consistency in its ability to predict a future movement. So I don't see that. That's the main problem with using like FTDs as like a predictable pattern, so to speak. Now, I do think that we very likely, and I mean, this is the interesting thing going forward. I'll have to check out that Newton video, maybe tomorrow or something like that. I would like to go through and see what he's thinking from his thesis. Because what was his last date? I think he had a big date on like the 8th of August, right? Wasn't there a big one in August that he was thinking? I don't remember what it was. Do you guys remember? I'm trying to see if it's highlighted. 8-8. Yeah, and it doesn't look like anything happened here. The prior day close was 2083, and then the open was 21 with a high of 2188. So yeah, that didn't really do anything. Again, so even Cedric, the way that you frame that, right? It jumped a little, I think. That's confirmation bias. That's looking for and perceiving what you're wanting to see. Because I look at the close before, it was 2083. The open the next day was 2101. So if I look at the close to the high, 2083, and it hit a high of 2188, it moved $1, right? So that's using the prior close from 8-7 to, and that's giving it the benefit of using the high of the next day, which realistically, you wouldn't necessarily use the high there. But I mean, again, I would give it the benefit of the doubt for sure. So the main thing is, and again, like this is supposed to be an OPEX tailwind, which is supposed to have a thing. And then there's a bunch of the T dates assigned to it. I think he has a calendar somewhere in terms of like how effective the different OPEX periods are. That's actually one thing I would be interested to look at. Is it this one? No. 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 Lon Swayze says, I don't think it's in the sheet anymore. Oh, damn it. DDs. Because he had a whole thing tracking. I don't know why he would get rid of that. Why would he get rid of the prior movements? So memes. I wonder if it's just buried somewhere. ERS. Let me text him. did you get rid of, oh, I'm just going to ask him, where is the table in the, what is this thing? In the GME sheet that tracked the prior OPEX tailwinds and whether or not they connected cause a movement. Let's see. I'm curious about that. Yeah, so we'll see if that's in here because I wanted to look at that. Oh, there it is. Wait, is this it? This is it. Never mind. Never mind. Big dog DAWG. I found it. Here. So this was August. So this is supposed to be like this here. Obvious tailwind, price improvement, volume, often gap up or gap down. I feel like that's the problem is I struggle with that. I actually don't agree that that's like a OPEX tailwind here. Let's go to, because there's going to be a spike in volume, that's for sure. But that's because it's just an OPEX, right? Like there wasn't a gap here. It's essentially within the same candle. I mean, like a small gap. I wouldn't consider that anything. But yeah, I think because like I wouldn't consider this something necessarily like a tailwind hitting. Volume actually contracted leading into it. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, because I just don't see it there. Oh no, that was in 8/8 of 22. He hasn't updated it. Okay, I see. So he didn't count this one. Let's take a look in 22 just out of curiosity. Where the hell is 2022? Here it is. I just want to see what he's looking at. August, and he said it was August 5th. Yeah, I got it. Okay. Yeah, this 100%. I would consider that for sure. Not the 5th, but definitely the 8th, the following Monday. The 4th to the 5th, I don't think there was much of anything. But this into this, there definitely was. Definitely an expansion in volume, no doubt. But not significant. 17.25 to 17.8, like that's not a big change. So Jimmy says I gotta ask ChatGPT to explain what a top OPEX tailwind is. That's kind of like it's not really anything. The idea behind a OPEX tailwind is that when you go into an options expiration, there's going to be an amalgamation of trading activity that's going to move the stock price up. That's why he refers to it as a tailwind. But OPEX is just options expiration. Now, whether or not options expiration is a tailwind or something else, you know, that's a whole other story. But this one I can totally see some elements of, so that I'm following along with. Interesting. Okay. That Lawrence says quad witching day did a thing that was hilarious, which is also funny because it's not even called quad witching anymore for anybody that's curious about it. I did a video talking about it because that's like an options derivatives focused topic. Here's a video about quadruple witching. It's essentially just triple witching now. And it's because of the way that different expiration cycles have aligned. So it's still, I mean, you could call it quad, but it's really not. The other thing is, with so many additional expirations now opened up, the overall impact of triple witching, quadruple witching is severely diminished. It used to be a much bigger deal when it would happen and there was only a handful of expirations available. That's a completely different story, but that's not so much what it is anymore. All right, so let's take a look at, were there any changes in his positions here? Not until here. So let's just skip to that. Actually, no, let's not get lazy. We're already here. Let's just do the thing. Yeah, it's not even that many. Don't be lazy, Eric. So let's do 3 June, 6 June, 10 June, 13 June. June. Let's slide this off so I can easily see. Not too many left. So TG 85,463,161.55. Hash is 29,276,400.56. And then value is 289,276,400.56. Okay. And then there's no change to anything here. 6 June, we have a TG of 382,513,161.55. We have cash of 29,409,005. Cash went up. Interesting. Why did it go up that much? Huh. And value is at 586,459,005. Okay. Then we have 10 June. TG is 31. That's fucking crazy. 31,513. This goes back. There are no fucking dates, I don't think, man. You don't go from $382 million in gain down to 31. 29,409,005. Value 235,459,005. That's wild. And then let's go to 13 June. So TG now is 51,364,654.99. And we're at 6,343,724.01. And then 268,452,844.01. And then here we had an exit. And then we also have add shares. This is bought to open 4 million shares. Okay. So let's see what happened to these Oh no, I have to get off in a minute. I don't want to rush through this. So the last thing that we're going to have on the agenda for this then is to analyze. I'm taking a note here. Analyze RK 13 June options exit. That'll be the next thing. Vampirita says SEC and lawsuits would happen if it was an actual pump and dump, hence holding, and the meme about SEC coming. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, because in his case, I think the idea of pump and dump would be really, really blurred, because like even the dudes at fucking whatever that penny stock trading pump and dump, where the one dude pled guilty and was obviously convicted, and like the other dudes fought it and they got out on some bullshit technicality, even though they're fucking guilty. I think they, I don't want to say their name. They, to prove something like that is very difficult. But if you read through that case, it was pretty fucking clear that they were very purposefully trying to mislead people and manipulate people. With somebody like the cat, the only thing you could even attempt to say is that he knows if he posts a meme, which is true. I think so. If he posts a meme, GameStop is going to move. Like, I think he knows that. So because he knows that, I think it opens up a different conversation then around, like ultimately what that looks like in terms of any sort of manipulation. But I think you probably will struggle to call that manipulation. So yeah, it's a tricky one. Ricky says, what are they going to do? Use his memes as evidence? Well, the funny thing about that stuff too is like sometimes I notice like when they depose rappers and stuff, they'll use like rapper lyrics as evidence, which is hilarious. So yeah, it's very interesting. I don't really know what to make of it. I'll make a video tomorrow about just kind of like the latest of GameStop and kind of where we're sitting now. Of note though, one of the things I wanted to do before we bounced is, do you guys have a list of any primary thesis or DD or ideas behind like what people think is going on here? Because as I'm doing this, I'm starting to create what I believe is going on. But I'm very curious if other people, like what the most popular analysis is on what's going on, because I want to take a look at those. I want to start pulling those up. Seller box theory. Yeah, well, seller boxing is a thing. It's not even really a theory, but that, I mean, that's probably what was going on with GameStop and Cohen's intervention. That's for sure. Region on Superstonk has the cat error theory. Yeah, so for any of those kinds of theories, if you guys can either email it to me or just drop it in the Discord, outliertrading.io. So you guys can shoot me an email with a link to whatever it is so that I can take a peek at it, because I want to start looking through them. Because once we wrap up the trade here, that'll be the next step, I think, is to better understand what's going on now, what happened between 21 and 24, that kind of thing. So we'll see how that goes. All right, gang, that wraps me up. Awesome catching up. Always enjoy doing these sessions with you all. If you need anything, hit me up. Always around. And then if there's anything that you want me to take a look at for the GME, it'll be a market outlook video tomorrow, but I'll include a piece on GME just because I haven't covered it specifically in a little while. So we'll take a look. Be an outlier, be an ape, be an outlier ape, whatever makes you happy. See you guys later.